able to create something amazing. I know. Like everybody, I'm a holistic being. You know, I'm a person that's made up of my mind, my body, my spirit, my work, my play, my money, my love. Everything I do is all connected. You can't separate anything. And that's why I'm always drawn towards practices that recognize the holistic person. You know, you are not an individual. You did not spring up by yourself. Nobody did. I had the backing of not just my family, but my ancestors. And I recognize them every day. My name is Jasmine Vassar, but everybody calls me Jazz. I'm 27, and I do food justice work in Baby Hunters Point, San Francisco, California. Originally, I'm from Pasadena, California, born and raised, and lived there for most of my childhood and teen years. Reflecting on me as a child, I would say I was always a very disciplined child. I always felt like I was in control of my life, and I was independent, and I was an independent thinker. I kind of grew up going through a lot of issues around watching my family suffer and having to be in the center of that suffering as a child, and just hearing a lot of yelling growing up. My dad had developed a heavy addiction to cocaine and alcohol. I saw how that kind of really tore my family apart. As a kid, I was like, well, whenever people drink and smoke, they get really angry and they get really crazy. I realized that what adults don't need is they don't need alcohol and drugs. And I'm like, I wonder if I lived my entire life and I didn't do that, what would happen? I wonder if that would completely mean that I skip all this. And so when I was 5, I promised myself I'd never do drugs or alcohol. Someone who inspired me a lot growing up was my grandmother. I was just inspired by how strong she was. In particular is my grandma. She's on my altar. It's this woman right here. And her name is Peggy. It was really her that helped me to develop into the role of being kind of a protector. I learned how to cook by the age of 7. This is my favorite part of the job, honestly, is cooking. I live in the kitchen. I love making creative new recipes, and I love sharing food more than anything, because I feel like that's the best part of cooking, is to share food and have people compliment me. I got into nutrition back in college because I got food poisoning from meatloaf. And after I got over that sickness, in my mind I was like, you know what? Time out. Like, whatever could make me that sick is never going into my body again. Now that I eat better, it's kind of changed how I see the world. It helps me to sleep better, which helps me to make better decisions and better choices. So it's all connected. And I felt like I was healing a lot of different things within me, not just like my body, but my emotions. And I felt really connected to myself on a bigger level. If nutrition helped change my life, that it could change a lot of people. And if it helped heal me, then it could totally heal other people. And so I decided to become a nutritionist because I wanted to heal people. So the Food Guardian Project is based in Baby Hunters Point, and it's a project that was put together to serve the residents of Baby Hunters Point in getting better access to healthy fruits and vegetables. Our group focuses on 3 pillars. We focus on food access, through healthy retail. We focus on nutrition awareness and education, and we focus on policy. So those are the 3 things we focus on. It's a neighborhood that has had a deep-rooted history of environmental injustices and in food injustices, and subsequently has led to the people in that neighborhood of having the highest rates of chronic diseases inside of San Francisco. It's our job to try to level the playing field a little bit so that people can say that they have, not only do they have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, but they have the same quality as someone who lives in Nob Hill. because we're all equal, right?
It tastes good. Massage, no work.
Taking the time to recognize what was happening and being less reactionary to my surroundings. I think that ultimately is what helped me to make better decisions for myself and kind of go in a different direction with my life. It was the child in me that saved the adult of today. And I'm very grateful for that wise little child that was there all those years ago that kind of helped bring me into my womanhood.
Also, once things sprout, and once we plant them in the ground, how they grow. Like this plant right here, once it's in the ground, we'll never be able to return to this container. But once a person leaves the container they're in, and they grow, they can never go back to what they know. And there's just too much now to fit in that space. And I think that kind of is like a big representation of like my life.